Today's chair yoga class is a generalized flow where we will be sitting in our chair for most of it, and then for a little bit we will be doing some exercises behind our chair. Now let's get started. Let's start off by making sure that we are comfortable in our chair. I've put a couple of blocks below my feet here. If you've got short legs like mine, you might put your blocks down or just a really big book. Bring your feet a little bit closer to you. Now try and ground yourself in your seat. Maybe you're closing down the eyes, being aware of how the body feels in your chair. Focus on maybe what is coming into contact with your body. Is your back touching the back of the chair? How much of it? Can you really sink into your seat, relax a little further, and increase the space that is coming into contact? Your feet that are resting on the ground, it's all four corners touching, or maybe just the pinky toe sides of the foot. Open the eyes and inhale the hands up overhead, and then exhale, bring the hands down for cactus arms option to have a slight back bend, opening up through the chest, inhaling the hands up, and exhale back into cactus arms. Last one, hands up overhead. Deepest inhale, and exhale, cactus the arms, opening through the chest. From here, let's bring the hands down. We're going to make sure that our energy is through the crown of the head, elongating the spine. Lean forward for a forward fold. Leading with the chest or the heart down toward the toes. Make sure we're not sagging in through the shoulders. Elongate that spine energy through the crown of the head. Pull it even further away from the sitting bones. And take a deep inhale. And exhale, see if you can fold a little bit further. Make sure those sitting bones are not coming up off of the chair. We're firmly grounded in our seat. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Take it your deepest inhale, elongating the spine. And exhale, sink the furthest you've been yet into this forward fold. Rise back up. I'm going to start with my right leg, so bring the right leg up and hug it into your center. Try to bring it in as close as you can. Maybe you can even give it a big enough hug that you're touching your elbows. What we're going to do next is leave your foot here. Maybe you set it on your chair. Hug it in with your opposite arm, and we're gonna twist to the right. So I'm hugging my right leg with my left arm and twisting to the right. Inhaling, elongating the spine, rooting through the crown of the head, and then exhaling, deepening the twist. One more time here. All right, now let's release this. We'll do it on the other side. So left leg coming up and in, give it a great big squeeze, big hug here. And with that left leg, hug it with your right arm and turn to the left. Elongating through the crown of your head on the inhale, and exhale, deepening the twist. Now with the twist, we want to be sure that we are keeping our chin over our heart and not extending our head further to the left. Keep it in line with the rest of the body. All right, back to center. I'm going to place my hands on my knees. We're going to do a couple of cat-cows, starting with the cow on the inhale, bringing the tummy forward, shoulders back, maybe releasing the head backwards. Deep inhale and exhale. Back into cat, rounding through the spine, letting the shoulders drop. Hands come forward onto the knees. Inhaling, pushing the tummy forward for cow. And exhale, let it go. Cat, rounding the spine. And bring it back to center. Now we're gonna do a couple of neck rolls. I'm gonna start by leaning my head over to the right ear to right shoulder, and then we'll send it backwards. Nice and slow. Left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest. Do one more on this side. If you find any sticky spots, maybe they're a little bit uncomfortable, you just sit on those spots, kind of rub it back and forth, see if you can kind of loosen up that tightness. When your right ear is back to your right shoulder, let's switch directions. Chin back to chest, left ear to left shoulder. And last one this direction. Okay, bring that neck back to center. Now I'm gonna place my left hand on the chair, kind of give it something to hold on to here. I'm gonna raise the right hand up overhead, and we're gonna keep extending over to the left for a side body stretch. Make sure that your right sitting bones are grounded in the chair. We don't want them coming up and off, and then we're getting all unstable in our foundation. Should be able to feel a nice stretch all the way from the sitting bones up into the shoulder. Make sure that hand that is up overhead has the pinky side down. And try to make sure that we're not keeping our ear up into our shoulder. We want a nice space in between the two. All right, let's go ahead and switch it out. Right hand to the seat and left hand up overhead. Pinkies are down as we come over to the right side. Those left sitting bones are glued to my chair. Don't forget to keep breathing. All right, back to center. Now we're gonna do a couple of leg lifts. So now I'm gonna hold on to my seat with both hands, and we're gonna just bring those feet up and out in front of us. Make sure that those toes are peeled back towards our shins. We're getting a nice stretch in through the hamstrings, keeping it nice and dynamic. Make sure that you're also engaging the core. Couple more here. All right. Now finding stillness, I want you to bring your right foot up and leave it on your left knee. Now for some people, this is going to be a stretch enough. Sometimes your knee is up a little higher. Some people it's down a little lower. Finding whatever's comfortable for you. If you need to make it a little harder, you can always put your hands on your knee, add a little bit of weight. Make sure that those toes are flexed back toward your shins. If you want, you can even have a little bit of fun with it. Keep it a little dynamic. Maybe wiggling that leg around. Either way, let's switch to giving our ankle a couple of circles here. So pick one direction, and then let's switch it out. Maybe you got some pops and cracks in your ankles. Just let it be, no judgment one way or the other. All right, we'll set it down and we'll switch to the other side. So left foot up onto the right knee. Have this figure four stretch first. Maybe you're gonna notice that one side is more tight than the other one. Maybe you like doing the dynamic movement on one side versus the other. And all of those things are okay. Just finding what's best for you on this side. All right, now let's do our ankle circles. Picking one direction. Giving it a few more seconds here before switching directions. Okay, now back to our neutral position. Now I'm gonna turn my chair to the side just so that you can see from standing up behind my chair. You guys will come around the back, and we're gonna hold on to the back of our chair for support for this next part. So here I'm firmly holding onto my chair. We're gonna do some calf lifts. So just coming up onto our toes. Really try to feel the stretch in through the front of your shins, and then the release of the calves as you come down. You can do this as fast or as slow as you would like, setting your own pace. If you fall off balance, that's all right. Just come right back to it. Be sure to hold on to that chair nice and tight. Now, finding stillness with our calf stretch, we're gonna do a couple of squats. You have the option to do them with your feet hips distance apart. Sit back that way. But if that's too hard, just take your feet a little bit more like mat distance apart and really sit back into those squats. We're hinging at the hips, engaging the core, so bringing those hips up into the ribs, and make sure those knees are not extending over the toes. All right, couple more here. If you didn't take your feet mat distance apart, I would do that now. What we're gonna do is something I like to call skandasana squats, where we're just going to sway from one side to the other. So really taking the weight mostly in one leg, sitting back, hinging at the hips. The foot that is not bearing the weight should be pretty straight. All right, last one. So for this next pose, we're gonna be doing down dog. Bring your feet hips distance apart, further back on your mat, and lean forward, sort of like a forward fold, but we are keeping our hands firmly on our chair. We wanna push those thighs toward the back of the room, making sure we're pushing through all four corners of our feet. We're firmly grounded in the floor. And for our hands, we want to make sure that they're still shoulders distance apart. We also don't want our arms up here by our ears, so giving our head plenty of space in between our shoulders. One more inhale here. And exhale. All right, slowly come up. Walk a little bit closer to your chair. Feet are still hips distance apart. I'm gonna leave my left hand on my chair and bring my right arm up and over. We're gonna do a side body stretch. If this is enough for you, just bringing the right arm up and over, that's great. If you want a little bit more intensity, you can always bring the right leg over the left foot. This will even elongate how much stretch you're feeling through the body. If you are just using the arm for the side body stretch, you'll notice it more in the upper part of the body. But if you do try to incorporate the foot, you'll feel it a lot longer down the lower half. All right, coming back to center, let's bring the left arm up and over, leaning to the side. Option to always bring the left leg over. Remember, pinkies should be down when they're up overhead. Take a deep inhale and release. Last one. All right, come back to center. We're gonna come back to a seated position. Just be careful of your blocks as you're getting up and down. If you happen to use them, we don't want you tripping on them, getting up and out of your seat or back into it. From here, we're just gonna take a few more centering breaths. So hands up overhead. And then this time, lean forward, forward fold. Hands up overhead, tall spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Last one, hands up. And lean forward. All right, rise, coming back to center. I'm gonna take a few just calming breaths now that we're finished with our practice. So closing down the eyes, we'll come back to that grounding sort of imagery I gave you earlier. How much of your body is coming into contact with your chair? Maybe it's looser now, so you notice there's more surface area. Maybe your feet are more firmly grounded into your blocks or the floor. Either way, just scan your body. Try to become present with how you're currently feeling. Taking a few more calming breaths here. Last one. I hope you enjoyed today's class. I hope your chair yoga journey continues to thrive.